Greetings, this is Amma, and I wanted to propose a new idea onto the world, more specifically, our world. Um, for those that don't know me, I have a relatively quiet core personality, and this causes many people to try and force their ideologies onto me, to force their realities onto me. As an example, there's this man that I know that's constantly trying to force his reality onto me. He tries so hard to figure out what religion I may be in, or if I have a religion, or what God I may worship, and he's so caught up in his world that he judges me, as do many people, with the principles that their beliefs or his beliefs teach. And we have to understand that in the world that we live in now, there are so many different ideologies, and it's illogical to try to compare them to find or to verify what's the ultimate truth, because it would be the same as comparing what's more edible, a brick or a laundry basket. That's craziness. What's the point in that? What my point is, or what I'm trying to point out, is that we fight over such small things, and like naming and names and titles, that is a relatively small thing, but that is doing its job in separating us, and that's the original, or one of the plans of the oppressor, to keep us separated. Because if we unify, then we get things like the Haitian Revolution. That's something that they want to avoid. They want to keep us separated, and we're allowing this. But whatever your ideology is, we can't forget our mission, because isn't most of our missions the same, whatever ideology you're in, to unify and strengthen our people? So if we're fighting over what we call ourselves, isn't that defeating the purpose? I call myself an African because my major origin is of Africa, and I speak English, and in English, Africa is named Africa, or I may call it the mother continent. And in addition, I call the oppressor the European, because his main origin is of Europe. And again, I speak English, and Europe is Europe in English. So the thing is I need consistency in my life, and I choose these words because they work for me. I believe that we can all agree that we are the original people. So why don't we just call ourselves the original people, or the original beings, or just the people? We can go about calling ourselves the people with saying it in our respective languages. So since I speak English, I would say the people, which I do say the people in referring to my race and of English speakers. And if you speak Spanish, you can say el gente, or if you speak French, you can say le peuple. So if you are someone that does make contact with someone that does speak Swahili, I think there is enough communication, or a good enough level of communication to understand that Wantu is the people in Swahili. So why don't we just familiarize ourselves with that phrase in our different languages, and then that would satisfy so many, or at least I believe it would satisfy so many. And because of the different terms that we use to, or the different terms that we the people use to describe ourselves as a race, they're completely incorrect. They're based on ideologies that were imposed on us, and they don't work for everyone because everyone doesn't share the same ideology as yourself. So Hispanics, why do you call yourself Hispanic? Hispaniola was the ship that Columbus sailed to our lands and the islands, to our lands and islands like Dominican Republic, in order to rape our kindness. And Latinos, why do you call yourselves Latinos? Are you Latin? Do you speak Latin? I don't know anyone that speaks Latin today. And as far as Latin went, it was a European language that was also written for their Christianity. And words like colored, black, Negroes, nigga, all of that was made in order to separate us and have us identify ourselves as separate from the oppressor, as separate beings. African-American, Afro-Cuban, Afro-Brazilian, terms like those suggest the ideology that everyone is equal, and you belong to that nation that you were born in or reside in, which is incorrect because everyone knows that no one in this world is equal to the European because they've made it this way. And Afro before it, or African before that nation's term, would suggest that your ancestors may be of Africa. Asiatic, I understand that Africa was of Asia, and as Kemet was of Egypt. But when I use the term Kemet, I use it referring to the time when Kemet was predominantly Africans and dark-skinned Africans, and pre-infiltration of non-Africans. So the lands now are separated, Africa and Asia. Asia is now a completely different continent, and that is not my origin. Moors, I understand that Moors were said to be of Kemet and traveled to teach Europeans, but they suggest that they are the teachers and everyone is a student of their reality or of their knowledge, but not everyone is studying their sciences. So while some of these terms you may identify yourself with, I don't mind that. It's just I distinctively have a problem with it being mistakenly used as a term to differentiate a race. So the same goes for using these terms as you saying that you're a Christian or a Muslim, and you as a Christian or a Muslim will tell a santero that his God is not real or his religion isn't real, because you're forcing your reality onto that individual. So that was just something I wanted you all to think about in the future.